Each time I'm asked for business book recommendations, one title that always ranks among the top few is an old gem called Positioning by Al Ries and Jack Trout. It was first published in 1981. Interestingly, this book began first as a paper that one of them wrote as far back as 1969 and was later expanded into a full book. Now, many of the case studies and examples in the book are of brands that may no longer be around, but that doesn't get in the way of understanding the core ideas. In fact, I'd say this book is timeless. It captures the essence, or at least the number one insight, when it comes to marketing specifically and business strategy more broadly. And it was the first book to say it that positioning is about how you frame your product, your service, or company in the marketplace, how you stand apart from the competition. As the subtitle of the book says, positioning is the battle for your mind. So, meaning to say the real battleground in marketing is played out in the mind of the customer. What the book also says is this: if you're not doubling down on a specific attribute, an attribute that may not matter to everyone, but really matters to someone, unless you do this, unless you double down on such a specific attribute, you're in trouble. Because if you are trying to appeal to everybody, you'll likely end up appealing to nobody. It explains that people mentally rank brands and products in their minds. Imagine a series of ladders in your mind. Each ladder represents a product category, and each rung is a brand. This is how we simplify the overload of information that hits us every day. The companies are constantly fighting for a spot on this ladder that they choose to compete on. Ferrari, for example, fights on one ladder in the world of cars, while, say, Toyota fights on another. And that fight shows up when it comes to their marketing spend, their messaging, their ads, even their corporate strategy. The attributes that define each ladder might be price, could be size, could be usage, as in the occasion of how and when the product is being consumed, and so on. An interesting debate is whether positioning is a noun or is it a verb? As in, is it something you actively shape yourself or something that happens to you regardless of what you do? Does the market decide your position no matter what you wish for it to be? Once you grasp this concept of positioning, it completely changes how you see businesses and brands. You start to understand why companies create different brands to serve different market segments. Take Marriott, for example. They position Ritz-Carlton in the luxury segment, the Autograph Collection in the premium space, and say Courtyard when it comes to the business and leisure travelers, and Residence Inn for extended stays. Now, each of these brands is fighting on a different ladder, so to say. The book is full of examples that bring the ideas around positioning to life. How does an airline position itself? How does a country position itself in the minds of tourists or investors? How do political campaigns position their candidates? The name of the game is finally this: either you try to dislodge the brand above you in the ladder, or move to a different ladder altogether, or even invent a new one. Now, if you enjoy this book and want to go deeper in this topic, there's a lot more to explore. Al Ries and Jack Trout themselves have written several follow-ups like Focus, The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding. Other great books in the same space include Purple Cow by Seth Godin and Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath, both about standing out and making your message memorable. Blue Ocean Strategy explores creating entirely new categories to compete in. Blink is by Malcolm Gladwell and dives into how we form snap judgments, including about brands. At Varasi, we've been talking about position quite a bit as we think deeply about what we specialize in, what attributes we want our customers and prospects to associate us with, and how we differentiate ourselves. What are the attributes that our customers care most about? What do they say when about the attributes about us that are most endearing to them? And how do we then double down on these attributes in our messaging? I truly believe this is one of the best books to read if you're starting or if you're running a business or if you're a marketing or sales professional for obvious reasons. Now, even if you think about your own career, you as a product, how do you position yourself in the minds of your future employer or future client? I hope this helps. I hope you pick up the book. Happy reading, and let me know what you think.